MAGA says, God, guns, country. But Jesus says, those who live by the sword will die by the sword.
I've never, ever read this verse to mean that owning swords or any weapon is a sin. Just that living your life entirely devoted to weapons is a shaky ground. Like if instead of going to your church's Sunday service or Bible study, you opt to going to the gun store, cleaning your guns, practicing with your guns, or otherwise every opportunity when you could have gone to a service, or if your first and possibly only resort is to using your sword or gun to fix any challenge in life. But consider the context of the situation that Jesus and his disciples were in at the time. None of them were in a situation where their home was being invaded and they were possibly going to get murdered by said mysterious invader, like the ownership of a sword or gun would come in handy. They were ambushed 10 to 1 by the Pharisees and their personal guard. They couldn't win against that. Nonetheless, if Jesus called down a squad of angels, struck them with lightning or something, despite that, Peter, or whoever the exact disciple was, thought that their best option instead of surrendering and negotiating their release at a later point was to fight to the death. But this isn't even accounting for the fact that Jesus knew that he wasn't supposed to be saved by his disciples, but to sacrifice himself for all of humanity's sins. So swords would have been pointless and fruitless in this situation was what Jesus was saying. Furthermore, what I really want to say to anyone who touts this talking point, that verse doesn't even imply that owning swords, guns, spears, bows and arrows, or any kind of weapon is a sin. Jesus does not say, if thou possess a weapon, thou shalt not enter the kingdom of heaven or anything like that. And that is the barometer I go by generally for telling if something is a sin.
In this country, we worship guns as idols.
When you repeatedly defend LGBT folk, be it in a liberty sense or a it's not a sin sense, are you worshiping them as idols? If not, then get bent. Defending people's rights to arm themselves is not a worshiping of guns as much as you defending two dudes' right to marry each other is not a worshiping of them or their liberty, you uncharitable hack.